Welcome back, Canonites, for another dive into Dr. Halsey's computer, the marketing website that accompanies the Halo TV series. Entries update each week after the episode's premiere, revealing additional details on the Silver timeline. I've covered previous updates in other videos for anyone who's interested, a playlist for which I've linked in the description box below and the info box. Additionally, I will be discussing some of the details for Episode 8 that have been revealed in the episode's trailer, so just a heads up for that. With that though, let's dive in once again. The website opens this week with a medical dossier for the Master Chief. As far as I've been able to tell, there isn't anything of significance on the display. From there then, we dive into the character profiles, starting with Master Chief. Like most other UNSC profiles this week, the website's notes largely just follow up on events from Episode 6. For the Chief, it's noted that his augmentation balancing and physiology response have returned to pre-pellet levels, the results of John giving in to the artifact in Episode 6. His emotional well-being is not commented on, however. Coming next to Riz 028, the Spartan is currently briefing an Oni exploitation team on the operations of a Phantom dropship. Speaking of which, in Vanek134's profile, we find that the Spartan has worked extensively with Phantoms, his profile noting extensive work on Covenant systems and engines. Currently, he's analyzing Phantom machine interlink protocols extracted from a flight control actuator plug. Wrapping up Silver Team, Kai125's profile notes that her medical maintenance is complete and that she's been cleared for rehabilitation. As I noted last week, I have a feeling that Kai will mostly be back to normal in this next episode. Next up, we have the Keys family, starting with Dr. Miranda Keys. Currently, she's reviewing personnel and research plans for Lab Kappa where she works, and seemingly remains unaware of Halsey's monitoring and data taps. Captain Jacob Keys remains attached to the Longbow surveillance operation, reviewing their initial scans of the Aspero system and probe deployment schedules. As previously noted, the Aspero system is home to the Sangheili colony of Hesduros in core canon, and contains a holy planet for the Covenant in the Silver timeline. Based on the trailer for the next episode, we might get to see this holy planet up close. Next up we have Admiral Perengoski, who has assigned additional surveillance to watch the Master Chief. It's noted that this is making Halsey's ability to monitor John's medical status more difficult. Speaking of monitoring, we find in Cortana's profile that the Chief continues to rebuff any communication attempts, while Halsey continues to monitor Cortana's growth and development. Now, with this most recent episode being focused on the Madrigal storyline, we finally saw updates to the profiles for Soren, Quan, and Jin Ha. Starting with Soren, his profile merely notes that a ship matching one used by Soren previously was detected in Madrigal's airspace, referencing Soren returning to the planet to help Quan in the recent episode. We next come to Jin Ha's profile, which reveals that Jin's body was recovered by Venture's forces, but never delivered to the UEG for independent identification. I'm wondering if this is simply because of Venture's apparent death in the recent episode, or if he was intent to keep it for some reason. I wouldn't be too surprised if Venture was planning to perhaps go full William Wallace on the corpse or something. Anyway, the profile concludes noting that remaining Ha-loyal forces could potentially be reorganized under new leadership, possibly foreshadowing events in the last two episodes, and that the situation is being monitored. Get it? Monitored. Next up we come to Quan Ha's profile, which mostly reflects the events of the recent episode. Notably, it attributes the destruction of the outpost to Quan, and recommends a threat level reassessment, something I think we'll see reflected in next week's updates. Finally, for the Madrigal characters, we come to Venture Grath. Following his apparent death, uncontrolled activity has been sprouting up among Venture's political and business associates, a clear sign that Venture is no longer in control, if nothing else. With his last known movement towards Quan Ha's old outpost, Oni is deploying local assets to assess the situation and outcomes. If Venture were to survive his injuries, this Oni team may be the ones who save him. Closing out this video for the week, we have Makee. Her profile notes Halsey's desire to study the remote synchronization event between Makee and the Chief. To do this, she's hoping to utilize time and equipment from the Sword-based data cluster, and is currently exploring the means to do so. Sword-base, fans may recall, was the primary Oni facility featured in Halo Reach. In core canon, the facility was built near Reach's Bad Catha ice shelf over an alien ship of unknown origin. Data from this ship would eventually help lead the Pillar of Autumn to Halo. Swordbase's Silver Timeline counterpart remains largely shrouded in mystery for the moment, and I doubt we'll see it in any significant capacity in the show itself. However, we may get some details on Silver Swordbase in future website updates. Fingers crossed. And that will bring this week's update to a close. We only have 2 episodes left, meaning only 2 more website updates. Whether this season ends with the fall of Reach or whether that's saved for season 2, it's going to be interesting to see how the website updates after the season finale drops. We're so close, and I'm so much more excited than I thought I would be. But as always, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. This has been Halo Canon, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you once again for watching Canonites. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, maybe even share it around, both of which help the channel. And if you aren't subscribed already, consider becoming a fellow Canonite and hitting that notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Halo Canon now has a Discord server, which you can find linked in the description box below. If you like discussing any aspect of Halo's lore, well, that's what we specialize in. Thank you all once more, and keep on being awesome.